Radio Martí, de cubano a cubano.
That's the sound of Radio Martí, being broadcast from this sprawling 2,800-acre facility in Pitt County.
De martinoticias.com.
Locals know this as Voice of America Site B. It's a 250,000-watt shortwave radio station. It has 39 antenna systems, each with 4 towers. There are 22 miles of transmission lines, and its power bill is about $50,000 a month.
This is the center of the operations for this transmitter station.
Station manager Wilfred Cooper says about 80% of the station's broadcast is Radio Martí, and about 20% is Voice of America. Both broadcasts have a single mission:
to provide reliable news and information about America and about the world to our foreign audiences.
With an American slant, of course.
To help people understand what America is, what our principles are, what our values are, what the American policies are.
Voice of America and Radio Martí are 2 of 6 international broadcast networks operated by a federal agency called the Broadcasting Board of Governors. BBG broadcasts in 59 languages to an estimated 165 million people around the world through radio, TV, the internet, and social media.
In some places we have observed very restricted media environments, particularly in a place like Cuba.
Cuba is the target of the Radio Martí broadcast being transmitted out of this facility.
The audiences in Cuba find the information helpful to them as to what is going on truthfully in the world and in America that isn't otherwise reported in Cuba by their state radio and TV.
Recientemente acontecido durante el acto de repudio.
The Voice of America broadcast from this facility is in French and Portuguese and targets several countries in Africa.
And these places are areas of the world whose infrastructure is primarily a radio audience, shortwave radio audience.
The Voice of America content is produced in Washington, D.C., and the Radio Martí content is produced in Florida. The content is delivered to this transmitting site via fiber optic cable with a backup satellite transmission. The federal government commissioned the Pitt County Voice of America site in 1963. President Kennedy dedicated it the same year.
I say congratulations on the new Greenville facility. Your burden in the years ahead is one of truth and challenge.
The government chose this location to help prevent radio interference in major metropolitan areas.
Having it in more of a remote location in the countryside minimizes any of that impact.
The digital age has allowed the BBG to extend the distribution of its content to the internet and social media. But the radio broadcast still has advantages over those other platforms.
Radio is an established technology. It's been around for a long time.
The 2010 earthquake in Haiti disrupted electric, telephone, and internet service.
What worked were portable radios. And on the day of the earthquake, some hours after that, the station increased its broadcast to Haiti via shortwave.
The Egyptian government couldn't stop shortwave radio when it shut down the internet and cell phone communications during the political uprising last spring.
Radio got in.
But as the digital age has created more and more platforms for communication, the federal government has cut back on its shortwave radio facilities. There used to be 5 in the U.S. This one, officially called the BBG's Greenville Transmitting Facility, is the only one left.
Some of the transmitters were actually built but not installed in the late 1940s. Some of the other transmitters in the 50s. Parts obsolescence is challenging. The mechanical parts are no longer available in the catalogs of what we had from the transmitter manufacturers that no longer support these transmitters.
The facility has found companies that will repair or rebuild some parts, and in some cases engineers here make their own. One way or the other, the 16 employees of Voice of America Site B have managed to keep broadcasting for nearly half a century.
Vámonos a caballo.
Hasta mañana, amigos. Un beso.